Hey guys, welcome to the 49th C# tutorial that I'm making for the new Boston. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to use the IndexOf method and the trim methods, and there's a few of them. So all you're going to need for this tutorial is a button. And once you have that on your form, just double click on it. So in the last tutorial, we looked at isolating the first and the last names of the string right here, John Smith. Well, say we want to get the first and last names of a whole group of clients. Well, not everyone's name is 4 characters long, like in the beginning, and their last name obviously all isn't 5 characters long. So we need to find a better method of getting the first and last name. Well, to do that, we can use the IndexOf method. So just like before, we're going to use the substring method first off, but first we're just going to do first name here, set it equal to a substring of this full name right here. Well, for the int start index, we're just going to set it to 0 because we're just trying to get John. And then the length, well, instead of putting just 4 right here, we can use the IndexOf method to find the index of this space. So we know we want it to stop reading as soon as it finds a space. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the the index of this space, and since the index of this space is 4, it will just read 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But and since this is a space, it will stop at it. So we're going to use the IndexOf method. We're just going to do name.indexOf, and then inside of here it just calls for a character value. So we're just going to put in a character, and we want it to be the space character, and then it'll get the index of the space right here, and then which is 4, so it'll read 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Alright, so now we'll get this first name. So let's just display this in a message box to make sure that it actually gets the first name. And let's just test this out. Yep, it got John. And we can use this to get Smith as well. We can use the index of the space and put it at the beginning. So it'll start at the index of the space and then read to the end. So we're just going to go ahead and copy this code right here and paste it right there. And then we don't need a second parameter because it'll just read to the end of the string. So now when we debug, well, this will actually be the last name, but I'm not going to change it. And we should just get Smith. Yep. But as you can see right there, there's a space at the beginning. And that's because the IndexOf returns the index before it. So it would return the index of right here and not right there. So in order to solve this, we can just add 1. So it'll begin reading here instead of there. So now when we debug, we should just get Smith and no space Smith. Yep, and there's no space at the beginning, even though it's kind of hard to tell. And the other methods that I'm going to be showing you how to use is the trim methods. And these are very useful. And basically what it will do is it will just remove all of the spaces. Or all of the spaces at the beginning and the end. So if we have a bunch of spaces at the beginning right here, and we want it to just still read John Smith and not space, 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 John Smith, well, we can use the trim method to do that. So what we're going to do right here is we're just going to call it it's just raw name, because it'll just get the actual name. So we're just going to do name dot and then trim. And the trim, just the regular one, will remove all the spaces from the beginning and the end. So if we have a whole bunch of spaces right here, then it will just remove all of these spaces and we'll only have John Smith and not a whole bunch of spaces, John Smith, and then a whole bunch of spaces. So now we're just going to display this raw name in the message box. We should just get John Smith and not a whole bunch of spaces and then John Smith. Yep. And if I were to show you just the original name without using that trim method, you'll see there's a whole bunch of spaces. Yeah, there's spaces there and spaces after it. You can also use trim start if you only want to trim the start of here. So if you don't want to trim the spaces off the end, then show name. So now we will get John Smith and then a whole bunch of spaces. And you really won't be able to tell that the spaces are there, but they are. And then you can use trim end to just trim spaces off the end. So now we'll get a whole bunch of spaces and then John Smith, and you should be able to tell. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of spaces right there. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we'll continue on looking at more methods in the string class. So, see you guys.